Twinkle,
Twinkle,
twinkle, little star.
twinkle, little stars.
Star.
Okay, sige, now let's
And
discuss
watching.
thoroughly about stars. So what are the characteristics of stars? So actually, characteristics of stars, we have sizes, masses, and color. So let's start with sizes. Anywhere from 20 kilometers to 1 trillion kilometers in diameter. Malawak ba ang size niya, Mr. Mark Joe?
Yes
Grabe
po.
kita ng grabe kita yung pag-handout, no? For example, if we were going to describe a 20 kilometer, gaano kalayo 'yon? Or gaano kalapad, kataas?
Marbles.
Okay, Marble to saan papunta?
Sarala.
Ha?
Sarala, sir.
Surala, mga 20 kilometers 'yon.
The
So,
25.
yun pa. Okay. Yun pa ang pinakamaliit ha. Doon nag-start ang size ng isang star. From 20 kilometers to 1 trillion kilometers in diameter. So imagine, malawak. No?
Yes
Sabi
po.
malaki. Okay. And also the mass, it's depend on the amount of matter. For the colors, stars can be red, blue, white, orange, or yellow. And the last one for composition, it contains different elements determined using the spectra. Let's start with the characteristics. Another one, aside from composition, color, mass, size, may temperature din siya. Yung pinakamainit na star is almost 35,000 degrees Celsius. Sobrang init.
Yes po.
Sobra, yes. While color red star actually is the coolest, almost 3,000 degrees Celsius. And yellow, which is our sun, is 5,500 degrees Celsius. So, mainit man din talaga pala si sun. Kaya pala, sun can sustain talaga, yung it gives light, gives life, no, to the earth. So, actually, sun is very important. Another characteristics is luminosity, the actual brightness of a star. So actually, the luminosity will depend on the sizes and temperature. So katulad kanina kay Sun, tingnan nyo, i-describe nyo yung kanyang degree Celsius, 5,500 degrees. So talagang mainit din. Okay? Apparent magnitude naman, meaning it's a measure of how bright a star appears to be on Earth, meaning the lower the number, meaning the higher the brightness. So does not measure how bright a star actually is. And absolute magnitude naman is a measure of how bright a star would be if all stars were at the same distance, 10 parsecs from the Earth. Okay, so halimbawa ito, magnitude. Okay, so on this magnitude, nasa mga negative 30, those are brighter stars. Okay. Kasali dyan si Sun natin kasi si Sun is negative 26.5. So yung mga stars na naman na dito, we cannot see dimmer than positive 6 with the naked eyes. So meaning, marami din palang stars that we cannot see. Why? Because they are yung dimmer sila. Like what? Polaris North. Pero we can see Polaris North, no? Kasi hindi na natin makikita kapag above positive 6 pa dito na mga stars. So si Polaris North Star, parang medyo, nakikita man kasi positive 3 man siya. Another one is Sirius, the brightest in the sky from the Earth. Si Sirius star. Okay? So apparent magnitude versus luminosity. So for example, may star tayo, dalawang star. Ito, high luminosity. Ang isang star 2 is low luminosity. Pero, it is very far from Earth. Si star 2 close to the Earth. Meaning, lower apparent magnitude and the other one, the higher apparent magnitude. So, sabi ko na kanina, meaning, yung mga nakikita natin na para mga dots o yung mga stars na maliliit, actually, they have the high luminosity. Imagine, no? So, sobrang liwanag nila, kahit nasa Earth tayo, still nakikita natin sila. No? Kasi even they are very far from Earth. Okay? Another one, itong ginagamit natin ito, measurement, is that the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram. It's a relationship between the absolute magnitude or luminosity and the temperature of stars. O, obserbaran ninyo. So we have here the spectral class designates the colors of the stars. Usually, yung mga blue colors, they are the giants. Oh. Another one, ito mga main sequence stars, combination of the red. Oh. Okay. Yan. And also we have the white dwarfs. Meaning, spectral class depends on temperature from hottest to the coldest star. Oh, meaning, aside from sun, kung nandito si sun, meron pa talagang mga mas maiinit na mga stars. So, blue to white, to yellow, to orange, to red. So, meaning, imagine niyo si sun. Nakikita niyo ba si sun? Saan siya banda? Anong color si sun?
Yellow.
Yellow. Yellow.
Yellow ba?
Yellow siya, sir.
Orange. Yellow, orange.
Okay. Okay, yellow to orange color siya, no? So, meaning, marami pang mas hot kay sun. Oh, imagine. Diba? Hottest to coldest. And later on, kung si sun, nandito na siya sa yellow to orange, parang yung pinakadelikado that it will collapse kung magre-red na talaga, fully red na si sun. So, yun na siguro ang indication, no? Paubos na ang gases. Ganun ba yun? And we should be ready with ourselves. And I think, kayo, ready na ba kayo when the sun will, collapse and lost its gases?
Billionaires
Ready na
pa, sir.
Oh, yes. Oh, mabuti na lang sumagot si Samuel. Don't worry, sir. Billionaires pa, sir. Siguro patay na tayong lahat bago yan siya mag-collapse. Okay. So what are the kinds of stars? So we have here supergiant stars, meaning those are largest of all stars, and they're very luminous. The red giants, they are cooler, large, very luminous, while the dwarf stars, less luminous, red, orange, or yellow, and the white dwarf is very faint, small, and dense. Now, tatanungin ko kayo, anong kind ng star si Sun? Saan siya na-belong?
Dwarf stars.
Dwarf star.
Okay. Dwarf,
Ano,
no?
sir, bako lang
Kasi,
siya ng taon kay closer siya sa Earth.
yes.
Dwarf stars,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, John Bryan. Louder again.
Dwarf stars, sir, ang sun. One of
Yes.
the smallest stars that we have.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, kung i-base talaga natin kanina sa color, yellow to orange, so mabibilong talaga si Sun for in a dwarf star. So, variable stars, meaning they vary in brightness over regular periods of cycles. So, there are two types. Pulsating, meaning changes in brightness as they contract, yun ang mga brighter stars, or kung nag-expand ito, it will become dim. So, example nito is a yellow supergiant star. Okay, yung may mga ganun na star. Another one is non-pulsating or eclipsing binary. The two stars of unequal brightness that revolve around each other. Brightness depends on which one is in front of the other. Gabi, parang major in stars talaga ang lesson natin. No? Okay, another one is pulsars. Stars that releases light and radio waves in pulses. Maybe the neutron star formed in a supernova and it looks like it pulses because it is rotating like a searchlight. Meron din mga ganyan na mga stars. Okay, the last one. Dito lang siguro i-end ko. Oo, tomorrow night naman yung iba. Oo, don't worry. I have here a life cycle of a star. Actually, I know na-discuss na ito in your earth science. Pero, ito yung parang, parang madali lang siyang intindihin na life cycle of a star. So, since a star is made of gases, parang it started with a stellar nebula. So, pwede possible, si star, dalawa ang kanyang pupuntahan. Pwede siya maging average star, or pwede din siya as a massive star. So, let's start with an average star. So, later on, after average star, it will become a red giant, and then a planetary nebula, and it will end with a white dwarf. While, kung magiging massive star siya, mag-red giant din siya, red supergiant, then supernova, And later on, yung sinasabi nila, nagiging neutron star na lang or a black hole. So, meaning, yung life cycle of a star, pwede kasi siya merong mga supernova, mag-explode, or yung iba naman, it will turn into a white dwarf. Okay? So, in summary, again, the life of a star begins in a cloud of cold gas and tiny grain dust called a nebula. Ito yun, gases siya. And some parts of the nebula begins to condense due to some outside force, a shockwave which acts upon it. So, siyempre, mga gases sila, may mga shockwaves sila ganyan, nagbabanggaan. And also due to gravity, the gas and dust pockets continue to condense and their temperature increases. And eventually, parts of the nebula begins to glow. From nebula, dapat magiging protostars pa siya. Protostars are formed. So the gravitational contraction of the protostars continues, causing them to become hotter and brighter. And finally, there is fusion takes place in the center of a protostar, halting gravitational condensation, and a star is born. So yun dapat yung parang, yun siyang explanation how a star born. So it started with a nebula, and then later on, it will become a protostar talaga. From the word itself, protostar. So doon sa protostar, since it is made of parang mga atoms, so may mga nangyari doon, mga fusion. When we say fusion, combination of energies plus gravitation, condensation, kaya nabubuhay ang isang star. Ayan. Okay? So bukas naman sigurong iba, masyado marami, no? Grabe na major in stars na naman tayo nito. I hope makakatulog kayo, no? Looking, twinkle, twinkling of a star. May naghahintay pa dito na teacher sa akin. Sige, bago tayo magkaroon ng short quiz tomorrow night, i-discuss ko itong mga remaining topics na lang dito. Actually, I will send na lang siguro the PowerPoint para isang buong chapter talaga ito ng about stars. Kasi exciting talaga ang mga stars. Ay, konti na lang pala. Hanggang dito lang tayo, hanggang lang sa mga star clusters, PowerPoint number 37. Kasi hanggang 45 ito, hindi na natin i-discuss yung galaxy kasi natapos na tayo dyan. Okay, so thank you so much for your attendance. Can we have now the screenshot? Sino yung na-assign ko? Pwede po sa GC yung PDF. Okay, sige. Myanmar. Myanmar. Do the screenshot, please. Wow, si Shane Patrick Nietes, naga-dinner na. No? Laro mag-abit. Sila ni Gerald Austin Morales, naka-dinner na. Congrats. Okay na, tapos na, Mary Mar.
Sir, ang cam mo, hindi ka makita.
Ay, sorry. Okay, go.
Isa pa. Okay na, sir.
Okay, Miss Kay, sino yung bata dyan sa likod mo? Ano mo yan? Ano daw? Anak niya?
Baby ko, sir.
Okay. Hello, baby! Okay, thank you so much for attending our class. Bright ng
Hello,
bata. Pag dako niya ba? Amo na lang ipatudlo mo sa iya, ha? Ipa-memorize mo na yung life cycle of a star sa kanya. Kung magturo ka ng Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, sabihin mo, it started with a nebula and then protostars. Okay, sige. Bye-bye!
Ma-pressure ang
Bye,
bata.
sir. Bye, sir. Thank you.
Charlotte.